All right, we're back. Alex, you lost me and I lost you, then we lost everything. So we're going to try this again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know what
Hey, it wasn't your fault. I knocked the microphone over, and when I did, I don't know what button I hit, but I was gone. I couldn't get back. I couldn't get back in. We'll give everybody a few minutes here to get back in with us, and we'll see if we get a few people back in here, and we'll start all over again. Is this really live? Yes, Dennis, it is. Hey, PD, how you doing? We had a little mess up. We're trying to get it all lined back up, making sure that we got everything done. But I think we're good to go. We're getting some people in now, Alex, so we should be all right.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry about that, folks. We usually don't have them problems. Like I say, as many times as I've done this, you wouldn't think we'd have those issues, but we did. Live on 2 shows. Well, that's crazy. Alex, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody about that, and I'll try to get the other one shut down.
Oh, okay. So yeah, sorry about all that. I don't know. It'd be a little bit of a repeat for some of you that have just watched it, but so far, with Twisted Cat, we've had to but postpone the last 3 events, which is Burlington, Canton, Missouri, and the St. Louis, just because it's high water on the Mississippi River. So we've been kind of fighting that. The waters went down enough in the last week or two that I was able to actually go out last Friday with Hayden Gunther, my 2018 youth angler, and we did a little walking baits and caught some fish and had fun. So now that it's kind of getting down and manageable, I'm going to start going back to these towns that we had to postpone and getting some dates set back up for later this summer. So we will make those up. But in the meantime, I just had a lot of people excited to do a tournament. I've been excited. So I made some phone calls, had some people reach out to me, and we're going to do a tournament June 29th, which is next weekend, not this weekend, but next, in Warsaw, Missouri, Lake of the Ozarks and it'll be out of the old Ore House, which is like kind of like our Robbins Resort tournament on the water weigh-in. You don't have to put in there. You'll still do, registration. You'll still come to me if you put it in Drake Harbor or any other ramps in the area. You'll come to me by boat. You can still put in there if you choose, and then we'll check your live well, get you registered, then kind of kick you out there, and then we'll do takeoff at 7:30. Still one at a time, just like we always do. We had 73 boats at the Robbins Resort tournament, and right now we're at 29, I believe. So 29 are pre-registered. You still got plenty of time to pre-register until Sunday, and then you can also register. Friday night, we're going to do a Calcutta and registration at the old Ore House, and that's going to be from 5 to 7, and then at 7 o'clock, we're going to do a Calcutta. So from 5 to 7, we're going to have registration meeting, and then do the Calcutta after that. Calcuttas are always fun. We're going to auction off the teams, and then the tournament will be Saturday from 7:30 to 3:30. So all the rules, everything's the same. This tournament is also included in the CR giveaway, again, and I'll have that boat there. We're going to give away a 2019 CR Pro Cat 200 with a 200-horse Suzuki Marine Master trailer. So I'm excited about that. Just actually put the Smooth Move seats in it a couple weeks ago. So it's going to be a great giveaway. You can still enter for that. All you got to do is just fish a Twisted Cat event, and then we're going to draw that in October. But I really am looking forward to this for years. I know talking to Lyle and some other people, they've always wanted me to go to Warsaw and put on a tournament. There hasn't been a lot there lately. So 29 boats, throwing this together just in the last, I think, 6 days. I'm pretty excited about that. So if you guys have questions, ask them in the comments. I know I've seen Joel Roberts ask earlier about host hotels and stuff. So we're not going to really have any host hotels. There's just a lot of cabins and lodges. On Twisted Cat tonight, I will post all those numbers, addresses, and everything. If you have any questions about it, just give me a call. And that's to Joel. I know Joel's been asking. It's going to bring 65 boats. Yeah, I think it'll be a good turnout, Joel. Anything else, Lyle, they're asking about?
I see the 65 boats. I mean, that would be a great turnout on a 2-week notice if you could get 60 boats in there. You know, what we were saying before we had our FABU, all the tournaments in our area have pretty much been canceled. Anything within reasonable driving distance. So I think everybody's got their boats ready. They want to go fishing. The lake is the safest place to go right now. You don't have to worry about the current of the rivers and stuff. So I look for it to be a great turnout.
Yeah, I'm really pumped about it. I talked to Daryl that he's the new owner of the old Ore House, and he's excited too. He's like, can we actually, just tonight when I talked to him, we were talking about lodging. He's like, can we have this once a month? And I'm like, no.
Well, you know, that's a big snagging area. Now that snagging season's over, everybody's ready to go, and the lake, it's high, but it's manageable. So, and like I say, everybody that I know of, Joel was even making a statement in on the other feed that they was laying out some pretty good fish last week, big numbers. So I look for everybody to catch a lot of fish.
Yeah, no, I've only fished Warsaw. I fished it probably last May or June. Just went for like a quick day trip down there. It's about 5.5 hours from my house, but we went, caught bait really quick, and just anchored up in a few areas. There was a little bit of current, not much, and we just caught probably 30 fish, you know, for the day. It was a blast. You know what I mean? I think our big fish was maybe 20 pounds, but it was just nonstop action. It was really fun. My first time down there. It's definitely the river section of Lake of the Ozarks. So I really like it. I've heard there's a lot of current. So
yes.
I'm pumped about it. Really pumped about it. Like I said, there's 29 boats signed up, and I haven't even really, you know, been pushing it really hard yet. And I'm now that kind of things have settled down. You know, I was fighting some water here a couple weeks ago at my house during the Fishing for Freedom event. So I'm glad that the water's gone down, and I've got some more time to really get out and fish and promote. And like I said, I'm just super excited about this tournament.
Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of current in the river portion of the Lake of the Ozarks, more so than probably been in there in a long, long time, just because we haven't had floods like this in a long time. And I think you'll see guys anchor fishing. I think you'll see guys bumping. I think you'll see guys doing all kinds of stuff. So it ought to be a great tournament.
Yeah, I think we've got a team from Indiana. I mean, there's guys coming from all over. They're pumped. They've, you know, all these waters have been flooded, so they're really excited.
Absolutely, yeah. It'll be a lot of fun, and normally you can always catch a lot of fish at the lake. Maybe not all giants, but great numbers, and there's some big fish in there. You just got to sort through the little ones to get to them.
Yeah, but it's still fish, and there's a lot there, and a lot of people are catching fish.
Yep.
I'm going to probably be fishing from the bank that day, I think.
Well, I would say you'd probably be all right. I know guys that fish below the dam. Now, I doubt if you could get down below the dam on the bank right now with the water as high as it is, but that is well known for people going in there at night and catching big fish when they're running water through that Truman Dam.
Yeah. It seems like they're running a lot. I know Truman is really high from, I think at one point somebody said like 37 foot higher than normal pool, and
right,
they might be running current all summer long. So,
well, they're talking about it for several months yet to come. So I like fishing current, and there'll be plenty of it down there.
I love fishing current. Yeah, I would be kind of lost without it. You know, like I said, I went out last Friday. Now Thursday night. Hayden's dad brought him down, and he spent the night with me. And then, like I said, we went out on the Mississippi here in Warsaw, caught bait and fished a little bit, and the current was smoking. It's still kind of a flood stage, you know, minor flood stage, but I mean, it was smoking. But it was fun having him out and watching a 14-year-old walk bait like that in current that we were fighting and catching fish. And I mean, the boat etiquette that kid has.
Oh, yeah.
Shocked. Like I mean, when I do some tournaments, I'm going to start picking him up.
Yeah, he's a great young man.
Kid to have on the boat for sure.
He does everything the way he's supposed to. Dennis Mayo says Truman's still 30 foot above normal pool. I thought this morning I read it was 33, but 3 foot ain't going to make that much difference. James Dockery says Truman Dam is still closed off, but it always is. There's a cable where you can only take a boat so close there, but I'm assuming he's talking about fishing on the bank, would be my guess. But yeah, the water's high, and Lake Ozark is right at max pool, so there'll be plenty of water. I don't know how hard Bates is to get because I haven't been up there in a couple of 3 weeks, so maybe I'll get a chance to run up there and see what's going on. But normally you can find bait up there, but if there's any doubt or if you're coming down last minute, if you get a chance to bring some, that'd probably be a good idea.
Yeah, I've not heard about the bait. It seems like it's been pretty good, but you know how things can change in just a couple of days.
Yeah,
water, all that changes everything. So
that's exactly right. And like I say, these fish are not used to the kind of current down there that they got right now.
Yeah, but they love that current.
Jordan says you can fish below the dam off the bank right now. Well, that's cool. I wasn't sure. Joel says bait is easy. When Joel would know if he was down there last week. So that's awesome. No one should have an issue. That's what we like. Lots of bait.
That's what a tournament director likes to hear.
You betcha. If you can find bait normally in a place like Lake the Ozarks, you can catch fish. Now that's open to any place you can boat on the lake. Is that correct?
Yep. So one more time, real quick. It's going to be out of the Orr House, but you know you can put it at Drake Harbor if you got to work Friday and you're going to come that Saturday morning. You know, get your boat in the water, come to me. We'll get you registered, signed in, and then once we do take off at 7:30, you have the entire Lake of the Ozarks. If you want to run, what's that? Probably 90 miles to Bagnell Dam.
Yeah,
pretty good. 90 miles down to the big end. I don't recommend it. You can. You know what I mean? I don't know that anybody will, but you know, and this, I know I've seen somebody ask about pleasure boats. This up here is definitely more of a fishing atmosphere. You know, when you go the 80 miles down to the big end, you know, where Robbins Resort is, where I had my last event, you know, that's where you're going to get the big yachts and the power boats and stuff. You know,
well, there is some bigger boats on this end, but not nearly as many, and they have a little more respect on this end for the guys that are fishing because the majority of the people, the majority of them on the small end are fishermen. But you're liable to see some big boats, but nothing like you'll see down at Bagnell.
No, I agree.
Joel said he had 50 or so shad in the cooler the first few throws. That's pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah, that's really good. So
I guess I won't need to worry about bait when I come down.
Yeah, Jordan says the bait hadn't exactly been easy for him, but it was doable. Well, and that you know, as long as it can be found, I do know that early in the mornings, late in the evenings, and at night seems to me like the easier time to get it. Although we normally can find bait in the daytime, but it's under certain areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. I think you have a big crowd. What can you tell us? Is there a dock at the Orr House?
Yeah, so I haven't been there in years and years, but I've been doing a lot of research on the whole area. You know, because when I put a tournament on, I just like to know exactly how everything's laid out. But it's got a nice big parking lot to put boats in. There's a lot of slips. There's probably, I would say, at least 30 or 40 boat slips. I think that you can rent those. So we'll have plenty of parking there. And then, you know, like I said, we'll do the weigh-in there. So you don't have to put in there. You can if you want. Drake Harbor is still a great place to put in. And there's a lot of other ramps. But, you know, some of the guys that have been watching, I'll have all that stuff posted. And feel free to call me if you have any questions about, you know, lodging or to put your boat in, any of that stuff.
Do you know if that's a 2-boat or 1-boat ramp that you launch out of there at the Orr House?
I think it's just one, and then I know there's another one, and it's called the Cold Turkey Acres, and that's one, I think. Also, I know Drake is what, 2?
Yes, 2.
Yeah. So kind of it really reminds me of the Robbins Resort tournament where you can only put one in at a time, but we just really, all have some help there. So we'll kick boats in quick. We're not going to have all, if we have 70 boats, not all 70 boats will be, putting in at the same boat ramp. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And there's several boat ramps within boating distance. If you're familiar with the lake at all, you could use different boat ramps and go there. Yeah, I was going to say, Dennis, Cole Camp's not too far away. The one across the lake there, I don't know the name of it. Then Drake Harbor's not that far. I think it's by water, probably 8 or 10 miles up there.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-boat ramp, and it's a pretty big parking lot. But if I was going to put in at Warsaw, I believe that I would put in as early as I could, get on up there, get registered for the tournament, because with no more ramps open than has been in the last few weeks, I think the parking lot down there may fill up pretty quick.
Yeah, and I expect it to be a really good turnout. So like I said, there's 29 boats already registered. So definitely if you don't get pre-registered, definitely try to make Friday night, where we do the Calcutta. We'll do that registration from 5 to 7, the night before. Once you get registered before, you're all signed up, everything's taken care of, then Saturday you just got to really drive by me on the dock. I'll check your live well, give you a stick, and then you're really good to go. And then we'll just hang out until the national anthem before takeoff.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea. And Dennis said Drake Harbor will fill up quick. I believe it will too. Yeah, once that sun comes up, Joel, you're right. All the guys that are crappie fishing and bass fishing and whatever else they do down there, they're going to fill that parking lot up, and probably the streets all around that area, just simply because so many of the ramps haven't been open, and that's a pretty easy ramp to load and unload out of because it sets back up in that cove.
Yeah, and I seen Dennis just asked about Friday night. Yes, all the activities will be out of the Ore House.
Is it going to be outside or inside?
Hopefully outside. It might. depending on weather. You know what I mean? If it's crazy hot, we'll get
inside. I've been in there, but I didn't remember how big a venue that is. It's been.
And I told him I'm not 100% sure how our turnout will be that night, but comparing it to dog days, I think we probably had 150 people. Come to that night before,
right?
And stuff. So,
yep, it should be a great time. What else you got to inform us about?
Like I said, the water's going down up here, so I'm going to get all these other events kind of back on the schedule. I'm excited about that. It's kind of been a mess. Even the roads getting around, just been really rough lately. So, now that I can get out and kind of get moving, I'll get some more dates and stuff, out on the schedule. Redo all these events: Canton, Burlington, St. Louis, everything that we can. I've got some other events coming up that I'm helping with. So I'm going to be really busy come July. Every weekend, I think.
I want to mention something to everybody that tournament fishes and tries to make tournaments, no matter whose tournament they are. The way this water's been this year, there is no way that some of these tournaments aren't going to get stacked up on each other. So don't get mad about it. Mother Nature's having her way with us this year, and there is nothing that you can do about the weather and the flooding. So if 2 or 3 of these tournaments happen to end up being on the same day, as close as we're running in on time, this year, it's just going to be that way. Is that the way you look at it, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of us directors up in the Midwest, Tim Berger, we talk quite a bit. Shane, I just completely, when I rescheduled and I had to postpone St. Louis, which is June 29th, I decided, I already got a date that's set. I can't have it here. So I moved it to Lake of the Ozarks and kind of just spaced, I didn't figure that anybody else had a tournament. I didn't have a chance to double check. And, I got a hold of Shane, or Shane called me, and he's got a tournament the weekend before. It's actually this weekend. Shane's in Warsaw at Drake Harbor. But all of us talk, even Jeremy Coe with Cabela's, we talk quite a bit. So I know sometimes people think that we don't get along or we're fighting who's got the better tournament or whatever. I mean, if we did that, I mean, all of our tournaments would fail. I really believe that. So
I agree.
I try to keep in contact with all the directors in my area. Even with Aaron Wheatley and just everybody that's putting on tournaments that I know I keep in contact with. If there's anything I can do to help, like I said, I'm helping with the Alton tournament this year. I'm helping with Grizzly Jig in the July. That'll be my next one after Warsaw probably. So I'm like I said, I stay busy. I love doing it, and it just keeps growing the sport, and that's what I love. I'm so that I'm giving a boat away this year. I think that's just awesome. I'm just pumped about that too. So I get a little pumped up about a lot of things, but the water's made it rough, but other than that, it's been a great year. I'm kind of still excited to get it going again. We got it going, and then this flood kind of hurt us. So
yeah, and Jordan Lear just made a post in our chat. I don't know if you're seeing chat or not, Alex, but Central Missouri Cats is having a tournament this Sunday at Drake Harbor from 7 to 3:30. So guys that want to do some pre-fishing in a competitive atmosphere, you could run up there and fish that tournament this weekend, turn right around, go back to Alex's next weekend. Then you have more of an idea of what you got going on.
Sorry, my computer about died.
Would you have to plug it in?
Yeah.
Glenn, I don't know. Alex, do you think there's a chance of being a live weigh-in up there?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to do live weigh-in all the time.
That's way out in the boonies.
Yeah, I just got a different service. I used to have U.S. Cellular, which was terrible everywhere I went. So I have AT&T. I'm looking into getting a Verizon hotspot. I've been doing a lot of research, with videos and stuff, and I'm trying to do some cool new live things that I'm working on. But definitely, yeah, my goal is to have a lot of my stuff live. So
good.
I got some cool things coming this summer for live.
I didn't know if there'd be enough internet service up there or not.
Yep. And I got some things I'm working on that kind of, uses a couple different services to kick that speed up so we can get some good quality stuff. So, yeah, most of my stuff I try to do live as best I can. So,
well, everybody
got 5G, but I don't know that it's quite here yet. But my phone actually does say 5G in some areas, like around Kansas City and St. Louis. But
really,
yeah.
That's cool. I know it's coming, and the 5G is going to put a spanking on some of the internet service as we now know it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's going to be a big deal, but I think we're a couple years out of that being nationwide.
Yep. Any other questions you've seen?
I haven't seen any. If you guys got any questions about this tournament that Alex having, not this weekend, but next weekend, if you have any questions about that tournament at the Lake of the Ozarks or any of the other stuff that he's got going, now is the ideal time to get them out to him because, Alex works a full-time job, so we'd all don't have 100% access to him all the time. So now's a great time to. Dennis Mayo wants to know if you can explain how the Calcutta works.
So the way I do the Calcutta is just kind of how I got involved with it a couple years ago. Let's just say we have 50 teams. All right, I'm going to have all 50 teams out on the big board the night before, and we're going to start with boat one. If Lyle and Cindy are boat one, we're going to say boat one, Lyle and Cindy. We're going to start them at $10. Anybody can buy them. Any bystanders, spectators, whoever.
Bid on them.
Yeah, you can bid on them. So they might go for $10, they might go for $500, and then after we bid everybody, some people might buy 10 teams. So it's just kind of like an auction. And then once we get that, we'll take that total money, and then we're gonna go. If there's 10 or 12 more boats show up the next day, they're just not involved. So let's say, out of all 50 boats, Lyle had third place. So in the Calcutta, out of those 50, he was the highest finishing team. Whoever bought Lyle is going to get 80% of that pot. So let's say I bought Lyle. I'm going to get 80% of that pot since I bought his team. Since Lyle was the winner of that Calcutta in the best weight, he's going to get 20%. Now, if Lyle bought himself, he's going to get a full 100% of that pot. So it's kind of cool because it kind of makes you want to really buy yourself, because if you don't, you lose out on a good amount of money. I mean, I've had some events where, if a guy, I think it was Cody Thompson that bid, up to like $400, and he's like, I think I'm going to stop there. Well, he won the tournament the next day, and he got maybe $2,000 at Calcutta, but I mean, he lost out on maybe like $4,000. It was something crazy.
Right. And some of these teams bring several $100s.
Absolutely. But sometimes it's the $10 teams that win. So
PD, you do have to be there to bid.
Yeah. Yep.
I haven't figured out how to do that online yet, to where we get the cash, because it's paid out in cash, and that's kind of the way it works out. But that's something to look into too, Alex. Damn. At some point, maybe we could do an online part of that Calcutta too.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that would be cool. It's this Calcutta, since it's been probably, this will be my third year of even know what a Calcutta is, but it's definitely growing. I'm trying to do it at all of my events that I can. I know I talked to Wade Mansfield with Grizzly Jig today. We're going to do a Calcutta there. So the Calcutta is just another way for spectators. It helps bring them, and it really gets a lot of people involved. It's fun because you never know who's going to win. The best of the best don't always win, and
that's right.
He sneaks in there, and that's pretty cool.
David,
$1 on you, Lyle.
David Funk, you probably be wasting your money. Jordan Lear Outdoors, how many places are you going to pay out?
Just depends on somebody asked me that, and don't quote me on this. I'd have to pull it up, and you can go back to my stuff. So if you go back to April 7th or April 8th on Twisted Cat, you'll see the weights, the payout, how many fish are weighed, how many total pounds are weighed, the water temp, all that stuff's recorded there. But I want to say Joe Bell won that tournament like maybe around 4,400 for first, or 73 boats, and we went down to I think 8 places, all pretty heavy. And then, like I said, I think Joe didn't buy himself. A guy from Chicago, Illinois bought Joe and won, oh man, I think it was like $1,600. And then Joe got 400. So on top of what Joe won for first, he got more money, for being the 20% Calcutta. So
right.
The payout was really good. It was really good. So
I know the last one that we had up to, where was that? Up, name that town up there, Alex.
Canton?
No. Over by Chillicothe.
Glasgow.
Well, no.
Brunswick.
Some of them guys want $6,000 or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we had the Calcutta. We had the Calcutta like at 8,000. I think if Cody Thompson would have bought himself that year, with the Calcutta, I think he would have been at like $16,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it not only gives the guys that are in the tournament a chance to make more money, it includes the local people, because at Brunswick, they closed that street down, and people come out in their lawn chairs, and they was bidding on people they had no idea who they was. They knew the local fishermen, but then people didn't know the rest of us from Adam, and they didn't care. They just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of fun up there.
Yeah, the Calcutta is a fun thing. It's actually that the one Joe Bell won at my last event in Warsaw, or in Robbins Resort, Lake of the Ozarks. It's Gary Folletti won the auction, and he don't know anybody in this area. He's kind of a newer guy that's fished some of my stuff. Like I said, from Chicago, and he had a terrible day. I think like maybe he broke a rod, or just those days you just have bad luck.
I do.
Kind of down on his luck. And he was about ready to leave. He's like, I'm going to stick around. And and then Joe weighed late. And then he seen that he won the Calcutta. And I think it was $1,200 or $1,600. And I remember saying, you didn't catch a fish and you had some bad luck. And he left smiling. He was happy that he bought. I think it was something cheap. It's like, wow. So he had a great day.
That's awesome, man. That's really awesome. there's nothing better than if you have a bad day than walk into a pile of money for the ride home. It always makes you feel better.
Absolutely. I've been buying teams on the Calcutta too. I see a couple that I think, and I try to sneak in, and I don't know if they think that I'm bidding, they got to bid against me. So it's like, I don't know. I can't ever get I think I'm going to get one cheap. I think you were there in Lexington last year. And
Yep.
It's like every time, it just kept going up and up. So it's good. It's fun to get everybody involved and kind of hanging out, talking catfish.
Yeah, it is. It's a great time. PD Fishing would like to know if you'd ever bring a tournament to Santee Cooper.
Ooh.
That's a long haul, buddy.
That's a long haul. Who knows what the future holds? Like I said, if he followed me or Twisted Cat, I took this over from Lyle now 5 years ago or something like that. It's definitely keeps growing each year as the sport, So you just never know. Lyle, I don't think, just like me, I don't think we could ever guess that the sport would be where it's at today. When you called me, I think on a Tuesday night, and I was in Chicago at a hotel for work, and I decided to give it a shot.
Well,
5 years later,
we looked for a year before we found you. We talked to other people about it, and some of them didn't want to do it. And after we visited with them, Cindy and I decided that they wasn't the people to do it. And we was thrilled that when you decided that you wanted to do it, and at that time we wasn't able to fish, just like you're not able to fish in tournaments. When we started doing them, we could fish them and run the tournaments, and it wasn't no problem. In a few years, fishing the tournaments and running the tournaments could not work. And all we was ever doing was donating money because we was going out 2 or 3 hours after everybody else did, coming in that much. So we was just donating money, and it just got to the point where you couldn't do much. But I enjoy fishing. We enjoyed doing the tournaments, but after all them years, we was kind of tired of it, and we was very happy to find you, so we didn't have to do them anymore because you don't want to let it just go away.
No, there's ups and downs, and you deal with weather and water and just so much new stuff, and it can take a lot from you, especially like it's taken a lot of my own fishing time away. But and I live right, if you guys can see right past me, that's the Mississippi.
That is.
I live right on the Mississippi. So it's tough, but I still love putting on events. It's something I've kind of done my whole life with my family in the sound and light show business, doing weddings and stuff like that. But so far it's awesome. I enjoy it, and I plan on to keep doing this for years to come as the sport grows.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, because I like to say we need good tournament directors and guys to run tournaments and advance the sport. And Doc and I has talked about this many, many times. The advancement we've seen in the last 30 years from where we started out fishing tournaments, and nobody at that time knew that you could catch blues and flatheads consistently with a rod and reel. We was all racing the spots to catch channel cats, so you get your limit in the boat. And to what it is now is just night and day difference from where we started.
Yeah. Something I've really seen since like day one that I, took Twisted Cat over is there's a lot of new people in the sport, coming to the sport, and they're getting good. Back kind of when I got involved, it was still a lot of the same people. They're all great and always kind of in that top tier. And them guys are still there, but now I really am starting to see new people that are just fired up. I mean, like this Hayden Gunther, my youth angler, he's 14. And I mean, I'm ate up about catfishing, but I don't know that I've met somebody that is more into it. I mean, one of his things he said, I don't even care if we catch a fish. I just want to be out here. And I mean, how many 14-year-olds say something like that?
That's exactly right. And the young man has got a great head on his shoulders. He's been raised correctly. He loves to fish. He's very successful, and so is his family. I mean, his dad and the other guy that fishes with them, they all do really well. But Hayden is a special young man, and he's going to be somebody to deal with for years to come in our sport. And I just think the world of him. He's so polite and courteous. And there's a lot of other kids like that, but he's a special one.
Yeah, no, he is. He is. No, I plan on going out with him more. I plan on doing some St. Louis trips with him. and the kid can walk a bait. I'm telling you that right now. The channel cat fishing is on fire in the pool above me in Pool 19 on the Mississippi, and we talked about it. And he's like, we decided Pool 20. And I mean, when I say that current's ripping, I mean, I had my boat and gear and the trolling motor on 10, and I think we were still at 2.8 miles an hour.
Yeah.
We were scooting still. And I mean,
I had guys tell me that they'd been in 13-mile-an-hour current this year on the Missouri Mississippi 1, and said it was the hottest they'd ever seen.
Yeah, it's and he was catching fish, so it's fun.
Well, the young man's got it going on, and he'll do really, really good. So we're happy for him and everybody involved. If you guys got any more questions for Alex, you better be getting them out here because it's getting on up into the night. It's almost 9 o'clock. So if you have any more questions, we need to get done. And Cliff Miller, I will agree. I love them channel cat tournaments up in 19 and above. They are a lot of fun, and there's some great fish up in that area.
Yeah, that Fishing for Freedom tournament that I did the weigh-in and I helped fish, I've somehow pulled a second place finish out of that, and I really don't know what I'm doing, but Ron King gave me some bait, and the fishing is it's so good I can catch fish up there. I don't even fish up there. And,
what's the name of that little town up there that we had some tournaments out of where the ramp was real bad?
Nauvoo.
That's a great place to fish up there.
And that's where we actually used for the tournament with the water really high. So we put it in Nauvoo, and Cliff Miller gave me actually some hooks. So that's why he said that comment. But I went up there and I put my boat in before Cliff, and I remember, crap, I only got like 10-aught hooks. And I yelled at Cliff, and he gave me some little, I don't even know what they were, just some little channel cat hooks, and ended up beating Cliff. So I'm going to hold that over him for a while. But it was fun. We caught a lot of fish. We were catching 10-pound channel cat. I think we had, in 3 fish, we had 20, 25, 2.
That's awesome.
Of course, Mark Farrow beat us by 2 pounds, but it was still awesome. Awesome day of fishing. I really enjoyed the channel cat fishing up there. I mean, they were slamming it. It was fun. It was really fun.
It's great. I know some of the guys get a little disoriented or disconcerted about the fact that water is such great channel cat fishing that they get mad because a guy will trip on a flathead. And some of those guys are actually trying to catch those flatheads, but a lot of times in those channel cat areas, they just trip on one once in a while and they end up taking your money. But guys like Mark Farrell, Ron King, and them, they're Joe Lucky. They're looking for flatheads. They're fishing for them. But a lot of them guys think that they should be either channel cat or be designated. And I don't know how you'd ever do that, because I'm telling you, if you get a 30-pound flathead and you're in a channel cat tournament, you're not going to want to throw that thing back.
No,
I'm not going to.
No.
But yeah, I do understand the strictly channel cat part of it, because the channel cat tournament fishing up there is so good. It really is.
And I'll have that tournament made up. So anybody watching, like them channel cats, Pool 19 is where it's at. Hopefully I can get that in July.
That'd be great, man. I'd love to see that happen. You didn't get the Burlington tournament in either, is that correct?
Nope, Burlington got hit hard.
Yeah.
Pretty much in the Quad Cities or even further up, all the way south. I mean, the Mississippi River's been devastating.
It is. Now, are you going to try to reschedule all those tournaments if possible?
Yes, that is the plan. Like Canton, the weekend of Canton, I mean, they probably had 10 foot of water on the parking lot where we weigh fish. So we're going to have to let that go down. They probably had water on it for 10 weeks. Once that water goes down, we're going to let it have to dry out, clean up some of the silt and stuff, and kind of get it back to, working order before we can go back there. But all these events I plan on making up,
There's going to be some of these guys are going to have to, once that water goes down, they'll have to take backhoes or something in there and clean those ramps off and move the mud off the parking lot. It's a big ordeal, especially as much as it is, because they no telling how thick that silt is on there now. Yeah,
I mean, like Warsaw, the Warsaw Boat Harbor where I live in Illinois, I mean, it is I haven't been on that Warsaw Road for 12 weeks straight.
12 weeks.
12 weeks it's been underwater, which is crazy.
Wow.
So
yeah, it'll take a long time to clean that up. It just will. And you guys that are wanting to tournament fish, just be patient. They're all these guys are going to try to make up as many of them as they possibly can. And like I say, don't get excited if some of the dates get stacked on top of each other, because there's only a limited amount of time left, and you just do the best you can.
Yeah, no, and like I said, most of us directors work great together. Like I talked to Shane on the phone, Tim, Joe, Jeremy. So we all work together the best we can. And obviously now that 3 months, almost, at least 2 have kind of taken us all out, in the Midwest for sure. We can only do what we can. So
that's right.
Some events might be on top of each other, but overall we work together. And like I said, I'm pumped to get back rolling again. And I'd say in about another 2 weeks, the Mississippi should be pretty manageable, and then we'll do some cleanup. So hopefully in a couple weeks, I'll get some more dates out. But in the meantime, Warsaw, Missouri, Lake of the Ozarks, June 29th. I'm pumped about it. If you have any questions, my number's plastered everywhere. Message me on Facebook or Lyle and get a hold of me, and I'll shoot you in the right direction. So
that's exactly right. If Alex is on Facebook, and you can send him a message or you can call him. His number's all over the place. If for some reason you can't get a hold of Alex, get in touch with me and I will help you get in touch with him, because if you're wanting to fish this tournament, I look for it to be a big turnout event, because there hasn't been any tournaments. So I think we'll have a big crowd, and I hope that everybody can show up and go down there and have a great time.
Yeah. So thank you everybody for tuning in on a Wednesday night. I've been in rain, it seems like, every day this week. So I don't know if it's going to stop raining, but we can't afford any more rain here. I'm going to tell you that.
Well, with everything starting to go down, if the rain starts back up, it's just going to go back up. I mean,
yeah. Like I said, you got 3.5 inches. I mean, I don't know how much it rained today, but it was nonstop hard rain all day.
Yep. Jordan, we're looking forward to seeing you down there. I know Alex is looking for a big crowd. He'll do a great job with this tournament. This will be the first time you've been at the Orr House, so everybody have a little patience. It's a one-boat ramp, and if you're concerned about parking or anything, please go to a different ramp and just boat on over to the Orr House.
Yep, and like I said, give me a call. Don't hesitate to call. I bet I'm talking to 5-6 people a day that are new and new to Twisted Cat, and just wanting to hear about it, what's the rules and how we do this, and never fish a tournament and want to get in tournaments. And so like I said, the sport's growing, and I'm excited. So
maybe it'll be another 5 or 10 years before we have another flooding like this, and you'll have all them years to make up for all the difference.
Exactly.
So it'll be great. If you guys have any more questions, get in touch with Alex. Alex, thanks so much for getting in touch with me. I know this needed to be done, and I will post this up to Facebook, a link where guys can go back in and watch this after we're done. And if you guys have any questions or anything, get a hold of one of us. If I can help you, or if Alex can help you, we'll be happy to do that. We like to see everybody up there and be safe. Water's going to be high, so make sure you wear your PFDs.
Okay.
All right, buddy.
Thanks for watching, guys.
See y'all Friday and Monday.